thank you, Tom and Mark, for very interesting presentations. I base my comments on my experience of the last years working in an agency because a lot of the body work, Tom, for example. So we work on global environmental change and scenario analysis. And I've been one of the few scientists in the Institute for the past to bring governance perspective. So it's actually very exciting and promising that we're now discussing these topics here today with a much wider audience. I'd like to focus this contribution on three issues. The first one is what is the contribution I think the Earth system governance community can make to scenario analysis. The second one is the issue of interdisciplinarity. We have to find ways to collaborate productively using the strengths of all of us, all different communities involved. I'd like to flag that this work is important and useful beyond IPCC and climate change, so it's relevant for other teams and for a multitude of communities and users. So first, I'd like to offer the contribution of Mark. What is the contribution the Earth system governance community can make? If I listen to discussions and look at our own work, I can see at least four possible contributions. I think from our expertise we can help improve the storylines in these scenarios to make them more robust, internally consistent, and to make them stronger. I think this is the kind of approach from realize also the future Earth, there's co-production with actual scientists, and it's also with stakeholders involved. I think we can help to tease out the governance challenges that follow from the different scenarios. How are we, for example, going to be able to achieve a certain climate goal and easily storylines? And I think the fundamental theories of governance can help to provide different perspectives or scenarios and focus attention to specific issues that otherwise may receive far less attention. Another contribution I see is that we can help analyzing possible policy strategies, so policy space where Mark was talking about policy packages, and help to try to identify the conditions under which these may work in different scenarios. And last, I think we have something to say about the process of how to produce scenarios in a credible way. I'm sure Sylvia will talk about this after. And the second one, the issue of multidisciplinarity. I think we have to find ways to collaborate productively using the strengths of the different communities involved. And I think scenarios can actually be quite an important bridging device to bring natural science and social science closer together. But we also have to realize that this is not an easy exercise and that the challenge we have to bridge are considerable. This includes issues like different time scales we look at, quantitative and qualitative approaches that have to come together, different skills we operate on. And I think sometimes there also may be a fear in the social science community that there's a tendency to put everything in models, data, and indicators. And I think we have to be careful there. And my plea would be that we look for ways to work together using the strength of each of the disciplines involved, so horses for courses. And then my third point on the storylines that are presented. They developed for climate change scenarios. If you look at different scenarios that are produced on the global scale by IPCC, by UNEP, biodiversity, water, you see there are actually a number of stylized storylines shared pathways in a way that keep on returning in these different exercises. So I think that kind of shows that there's a wide application of these scenarios possible. And people need to think that in terms of their relevant for the teams as well and for a wide range of possible users. So, to conclude, Frank asked me to give a pitch, and here's mine. You may wonder what's in it for you. I think there are a couple of reasons to get involved. I think scenario analysis is a very powerful tool to help us think about the future and to help us think out of the box. So, that's my first reason. I also think it's a very influential type of analysis for decision makers. And one that is sorely lacking in social science input. And also one that is far too important to leave to natural scientists and models alone. So I think there's a responsibility for us here. And last but not least, scenario work is good fun. And that's also an important reason to get involved.
Okay, thank you, Marcel. Sylvia.
Thank you, Arthur, for giving me space. So what can social scientists say about the future? The question is, do we refuse to engage in this because we don't dare to extrapolate the past or make some kind of informed guesses about the future? Well, I came to attend this workshop as a social scientist who for a long time I've been both skeptical and yet intrigued about these climate scenarios and the modeling involved, which is kind of a black box to me. And yet I have a research interest in the science policy interface. So when I heard Tom's presentation at the Substack in the climate change negotiations in Bonn in June, I was quite overwhelmed and kind of a bit bewildered. It was complex, and I told him afterwards that still I'm interested. I want to learn more about this. So just as a comforting note for you, if you thought it was a lot, now after having read a bit of material and a one-day workshop, it really becomes much clearer and even more intriguing and obvious that it is really important that we get involved. So my reflections will cover 3 points. The first 2 relate to legitimacy of the scenario development for 2 constituencies, for scientists, for a whole range of scientists, and for users and the public. And then the last point will be building a bit on other things that have been said, is also related to how we look at scenarios as endpoints versus pathways. Or there's not a versus, but and. So going to legitimacy of scenario development then. Legitimacy is about justifying authority. And if we first think about how do we justify authority in our scientific community, well, we do hard work, we follow scientific methods, and we submit things to peer review. It's just our normal way of working. And there's no difference here. But the challenge, of course, with these scenarios is that they try to describe future societies, alternative future societies, how they might look like. And it involves a big number of elements, of course, of what have made these societies to this with these different characteristics. And in the background papers, they have a long list of key elements that are important for this, and it ranges from technological development to lifestyles, to values, to education levels, to governance and institutions, etc. So it covers a great number